Well, this has been the result of the time I've spent in lguk so far. I came in here yesterday, I guess, and I had told myself I wanted to do live side because I'm not familiar with the side, and I thought it'd be fun to try a new area. But when I looked at the map, I couldn't really figure out a spot that would be good to go to. So I ended up going over to dead side, and I messed around over there for maybe an hour and a half yesterday. And I made a little bit of XP, like only like a third of level 46, not really very much. And it was rough though. Like I was fighting in the safe hall, fighting towards the ghoul lord and the frenzy area, and I felt like I was getting the resists were pretty rough. I don't know if the stuff I was fighting was buffing with magic resist or if it was just my imagination or what, but I felt like charms and roots. Well, roots don't hold anyways because of ghoul root, but I felt like charms weren't holding very well either, even on the stuff that was not very high level. And then there is some stuff that's like level 42, level 43 over there. Didn't think stuff pathed back this far. I'm still learning this area. Anyway, I had to gate out like 2 or 3 times. I got out at 1% hit points once. I channeled a mez as a Dar Ghoul Knight was about to just obliterate me. And but while I was over there trying to poke around at some of the other spawns, trying to find stuff that didn't involve Dar Ghoul Knights, somebody suggested I should come over to... Oops, wrong direction. Somebody suggested I should come over here to live side to the camp that's called the Keep. And this is the Keep. It's this big circular room. There's this ramp all the way around the outer edge. Hold on. Sorry, there's this ramp, or this ledge all the way around the outside, and there's a tunnel that comes in from the bottom, and then there's 2 tunnels that come in from the top. And there's this keep in the middle. And there's frogs that wander around. Just warriors and shamans are the only 2 classes that I can tell. And all the way over here there's the stairway that leads up to the keep area. And there's like 4 or so mobs that kind of path around outside here, either down here or up on the edges, a little ways into the tunnels that lead into this area. And there's 4 mobs right on top of the keep here. And then there's a couple levels on the inside. So the first level is just this really tight quarters. There's 3 mobs here and 1 that paths around in this area. And the one that paths also bounces down to this floor. And then there's these 3, and then there's the pather right here. And then back this way there's 3 more spawns that are the highest level that are down here. And I guess there's 2 different named mobs that spawn back in here. Stuff ranges in level from like 33, 34 up to where's the ramp off? There we go. Up to like 42, 43, maybe the highest. Oops. So I saw this area and it looked really cool, and I was really excited to learn my way over here. But the problem is the pathing is the absolute worst pathing I have ever seen anywhere on P99 in the like 5 years I've played on here. These frogs, I'll try to get to a spot that I think is safe, and then I'll bind sight on something, and you can watch. Well, you'll see as I'm starting to kill stuff and walking around in Viz. Like, watch these guys. They just like, they go right up walls. Pet flies through the air following this thing. It just passed straight to wherever it wants to be, and now it's just disappeared. I don't even know where it is now. Like, that shaman, it's probably in this tunnel that loops way around over here, and it walked through like 40 feet of wall to just appear in that tunnel out of nowhere. Stuff like all the stuff outside that paths just does stuff like that. It's all over the place. But when you try to pull them, they actually follow the route that you would think they would. So like I tried to pull something from right here who had walked from this ledge straight down to there. Then when I tried to pull him back up into this tunnel back here, he ran around this way and came up these steps and trained me, and that's why you saw my corpse in the tunnel back behind me. On the inside, the pather that I showed you, it was a Zol ghoul or a Zol knight on the bottom floor. He bounces up and down between the second floor and the third floor, teleporting, on a horizontal and a vertical axis, like all over the place. It's crazy. So I really want to learn this spot and make a video here because it looks like a really cool indoor camp. But between the absolutely horrible pathing and the fact that everything is shaman buffed, so like everything has Spirit of Wolf, everything is hasted. This stuff is much more dangerous than, especially because of the tight quarters also, it's much more dangerous than it would be if it were, unbuffed or good pathing or more open space. Any one of those things would make this not a tricky spot, but as it is, it's quite nasty. So I'll try to kill some stuff over here for a little while anyways, and then I'll probably drag my corpse over to the other side and see about getting it res. But yeah, it's rough. The problem I've had mostly is that I get beat down and I end up waiting to regen hit points before it's safe to do another fight, because stuff covers the short distances that are in here so quickly because of Spirit of Wolf and the goofy pathing. God, oh my God. Anyways, I'm trying to make it interesting over here, fighting this crazy stuff, but it's a nasty spot. The guy who suggested I come over here and try this spot said he never had all these problems that I'm having here. It sounds like it's a more recent issue, this crazy pathing. He was here a while ago, like a couple years, I think. But yeah, so this is new problems, I guess. And worst of all, there's still some greens over here, but the greens work me over almost as well as the blues do, because basically everything is just tough because of the things that I've talked about so far. But I'll kill a few things on the outside here, and I guess I'll try to pick up this shaman and hopefully bring him back solo. Oop. I don't know where that Wan knight that came over this way is going. Yeah, okay. So I'll try to pull him back into this tunnel back here, and hope that I just get the shaman and his pet. See, they move so fast, there's like not even time to try and get off a route really before they get to you. I haven't even been bothering. I just try to like take hits and mez them and hope that I don't get stunned or beat up too bad before I get a chance to finish them off. I'm just gonna leave this guy and kill the shaman. Hopefully he doesn't dot me, then I'll have to charm him to clear it. Scourge is kind of nasty too, so I'm gonna charm him up. Get rid of that buff, or debuff. And then I'll finish him off like this, hopefully, before he dots me again. So that's like one of the better fights that I've had over here. But, it was against a green con. I got, what, like 3% XP from those kills, even though there's a good zone experience modifier in here, because one of the mobs was green. And it still took my rampage and part of my rune down and cost me 70% of my mana. So, I could have killed 4 blood gills at once and had an easier time of it than that fight. So it's not, to this point anyways. Hold on, I gotta close the door to my office. The kids are yelling. So anyway, yeah, to this point, this is not a good spot for me to try to XP because I'm just having a tough time settling in. I've probably killed, I don't know, 15 mobs over here. I tried to break the second floor as the first thing that I did here, but that was before I'd spent enough time watching the pathing to really know how buggy it was. And so when the fourth mob on that floor disappeared, I lulled and started killing the others, but then he reappeared out of nowhere on me. I had no warning or anything, and it got ugly. And I think I killed 2 of the 4, and then I got out of there. The stuff isn't too high level. Even the stuff on the very bottom floor in the back, which can be like 42, 43, which is the level of the Dar Ghoul Knights on Dead Side that were giving me big problems. Resisting root, resisting stuns, resisting nukes, almost aren't very difficult to keep charmed. I don't remember where I was going with that. Anyways, so this is what I've been working on. I'm going to met up a little bit here, and I'll probably try to kill the other wandering stuff and then lull that top floor. I'm kind of tempted to, like, I don't know, just kill off the shamans and try to respawn melee stuff so that they're less dangerous, but it's enough of a zoo over there that if I get trained with a couple ads, I'm going to be in trouble anyways, even if they're not shamans buffing everybody. The advantage of this is something that I've talked about before as an enchanter soloing, about killing off mobs that you don't want around and then leaving what respawns when it's something that's good for you up. In like Howling Stones, I would kill off casters that were level 53 when I was soloing in there, so that the stuff that spawned was not as difficult to deal with if it aggroed. You're not going to get dotted with an E-bolt that kills you like through runes with nothing you can really do about it. And you're not going to have as hard of a time lulling because you can spawn lower level stuff and leave that stuff alone and just ignore it, not kill it purposely. And so here, if I were going to set up on the bottom floor where there's 6 spawns and 1 pather that comes through, if I were like to fight down there, and even if I were just killing like the pather and the first 3 and then like 2 of the other 3 or something like that, if I had all of the top floor and all of the second floor spawned as warrior mobs, I wouldn't have to worry about stuff that's respawning next to me instantly being buffed by like 4 different shamans, making them much more dangerous to me. It speeds up the fights a little bit because stuff's hasted, so it beats each other down faster, but it makes it more dangerous dealing with charm breaks and everything. So that would be something I would consider doing if I were going to stay here for a long time. I would think about clearing out all of the casters, leaving everything respawned as melee in areas that I'm not going to be fighting, so that way they're not buffing the things that I do plan to be fighting. And when I break into the area, things will be buffed probably because some stuff will respawn as casters, but it's still better than dealing with anything that respawns instantly getting buffed up. So I'm going to go out here and see if I can snag some more mobs. I think almost everything that's inside is all blue. It's just some of this stuff out here that's green. The Zolls are a little higher, the Wands are a little lower. Sometimes they're green, yeah. I put in my notes approximation levels and everything, so I have an idea. But I guess I will snag this guy and see what I can do with him. Oh, maybe not, because he buggered off. Okay. Zol it is. I'm going to try to get off. Oh, he's so fast. It's not fair. Well, this isn't a bad setup right here, though. I can root them on top of each other, and if another mob paths in, I'll still be able to make it work. I'll charm the Zol and probably just let him kill the Wand Knight because he's green anyways, so it's not especially important for me to get full XP for him. And then, it sucks because if I see stuff coming and my pet's engaged, if I'm sitting down and something aggroes my pet, it's going to come at me because I'm sitting. If I were able to stand up, then it would go after my pet, and I could just root it on the spot. See, this Zol Knight is hitting for 100. He's level 40. which is about as high as I would care to be charming when I'm trying to XP on things. And he just wrecking this screen con. But because the pathing's so buggy, stuff just like appears out of nowhere, hops up over the edge and stuff, so I don't really have a chance to see things coming to stand up. I just get hit so much. I haven't been using Rune 4, admittedly, but I have been using Rampage and Rune 3, and I don't think it would make a big difference in terms of how much damage I'm taking. It's been good so far, but I've only fought a few things. I thought there was another pather out here. There he is. He's dubious because I'm not kill on sight enough yet. I'm not KOS enough yet. That clickies from my my instant clicky wand thing make me unkill on sight. Brings me up to dubious. So after I do this guy in, I guess I'll nuke my pet down. It's going to cost a lot of mana. I really don't want to get hit though, because maybe I'm not going to be nuking my pet down. Well, at least he's pretty low. %. I really, for fights here to be worthwhile, I really need to get like 2% minimum per kill because of how risky it is and how much mana it soaks up when something like this happens, and I've got to finish off this dude who's got a lot of hit points and might even resist some of my spells from 70%. Something I haven't ever done when soloing, but that would be an option, is that I dispel things that I'm fighting. But I don't like the risk of, like mezzing something to start the fight and then dispelling it, because, if it had a buff that had worn off, my mez would be, well, I guess mez mechanics are different now anyways. I don't want to dispel something and then have my mez wear off right away and then it comes and beats me down the first thing it does. And, I guess if I catch, I also don't have all my spells researched, so, excuse me. Uh-oh. What the hell is a ghoul doing over here? That kind of worries me. I don't know why there would be a ghoul over here on the live side. I don't see other things aggroing, but I'm gonna gate out because it just makes me kind of nervous, and I don't want to die more. That's strange. I have no idea what the hell's going on with that guy. I posted a comment in my in the caster section of the forums where I've started talking about fun solo dungeon experience spots for a chanter or whatever, about how terrible the pathing is here, and somebody suggested I bug report it. I kind of assumed that since I feel like pathing as a whole has been worse since I started playing again like a month ago than it was like 2 years ago the last time I played, that it's well known that pathing in general is kind of wonky, and there's lots of pathing threads all over the Velius beta section, which also includes other places in Kunark Classics. So I thought it was well known, but maybe I'll have to report this spot specifically, and I'll have this video on YouTube for anybody who wants to see pathing, how stuff is behaving. It's definitely makes it tricky. I have, maybe that Ghoul Knight was supposed to be there and I just didn't realize it, but I hadn't seen him in the, the hour I've pissed around here, the 3 times I've cleared out these mobs. I really just, it freaks me out to see something that I've never seen over in that area that's usually on the other side of the dungeon suddenly attacking me. Don't want to get trained or something, so play it safe. I needed a med up anyways. This is kind of nice because I'm bound in upper guk, near one of the zonins to lower guk, obviously. And my bad. Anyways, if you're looking at the map on the wiki, there's like a zone to lower guk in the top left-hand corner of the map of upper guk into lower, and that's the one that I'm bound by. there's one undead frog that paths back and forth in the tunnel right where you zone in. So sounded like he was coming. So I'm going to back out and get my Invisverse undead up so that he doesn't beat me down at all because it's tight quarters. If I could figure out what direction I'm facing, there. Okay. So this little room is, and then like the ancient crocodile. There's like a little room with 3 mobs here, and the ancient crocodile with the int arms, and the wisdom legs is up this way, and then over that way loops back around eventually to the main entrance to Lower Guk and heads all the way back to civilization, so to speak. And then, but anyway, I bound here so that I could get back to my spot pretty easily, but that also, so if I ran into trouble and wanted to gate out, I'd be gating and getting aggro cleared. Anyway, before I got distracted, this is a good spot because it lets me show you the way into where I am from this entrance now as I run my way back in there. I'll throw IVU up to get past this dude. And make my way back down, met up again. Excuse me. But yeah, like I said, I was pumped when I saw this spot. I was like sending the guy tells, "Oh man, this spot looks awesome. Thanks so much for suggesting it. It looks great." And then after I watched it a little bit and started trying to kill things here, I was like, "Holy shit, this is like brutal." But I'll keep trying. I kind of felt like I was having a terribly difficult time figuring out those snakes in Paw also because of the line of sight issues fighting them in the water, but eventually I settled into a really nice groove there and was making great XP, so hopefully I accomplished the same here. Although, one of my biggest complaints about, well, it's not a complaint really, it's just the way the game is, and it's kind of a good thing. Soloing oftentimes is tricky to find just the right spot because even if you're a really powerful solo class like an enchanter, there's often such a mix of levels in any one area that in order to be high enough to handle the tougher stuff, oops, did I miss my there? In order to be high enough to handle the tougher stuff, you're a little too high to get great XP from all the lower stuff. Whereas a group can afford to be lower level on average, and so they get great XP from everything. And this is one of the dungeons where that annoys me because you've been seeing it. The level 40 dude that I was fighting is. I'll watch me aggro that dude again when I'm just invis, not IVU. The Zol Knight that I had charmed was level 40, which is about as high as I would care to be charming things while I'm trying to XP at 46. And yet in the same area there's stuff that's green, which is like level 33 or something like that. So it's a pretty big level range. I wouldn't want to be here trying to XP at 45 or 43 or 44 anyways. But in order to be able to set up here and get a few levels before stuff starts going green, that's when I would have to be here, and it'd be just too hard then, I think. The guy who suggested this spot told me he was 46. He thought when he came here, which is a good level to be here, I think. But I wonder without the pathing issues how much different it would be to be set up in this area trying to XP. Getting chased out set me back enough that the respawns will be coming up before I manage to clear out that top. I'm going to need to rebuff a little bit more here shortly because I lost my runes and everything. So I'll see what respawns out here, and if I get a bunch of blues, I'll kill them. If not, I'll try to go down inside the keep and clear out one of the floors down there to show you the tight quarters spaces and some of the buggy pathing that's going on down there. And hopefully I can do it without dying and then get this one rezzed up before it expires in a couple hours here. I'm really, really getting itchy to be higher level. After having a hard time in here last night. Had to really struggle to convince myself, no, no, you gotta stay here. You love the look of this spot. It looks great. You just have to stay and figure it out. And then this morning, when the first thing I did was try to pull something that I just watched walk a certain route, and when I toshed it, it took the exact opposite route to get to me, and it trained me, and I died, causing this corpse. After that, I just exited right out of the game, and I was like, "Fuck this! I'm gonna go back to like Lake of Ilomen or something, and just get, up to 49 or 50 on real easy XP, and then go do something else." Trying to convince myself not to do that. Trying to convince myself not to take like a 7-day break like I did when I died like 3 times trying to learn Crystal Caverns, and I just didn't log in for 6.5 days, and my corpse is almost rotted. I hope that my videos aren't getting boring for anyone who's been watching much of the other ones. I know that what I'm doing is pretty much the same, just in different places. And I've been, I haven't really made a ton of levels since I started doing my videos, so that the things that I'm doing change very much. Once I hit 51, things will be quite a bit different. Theft of Thought practically doubles my mana regen when I'm in a zone with casters, so it allows me to throw runes and rampages around with Wild Abandon. So I hopefully will be taking less damage and won't be held up, slowed down with fights as often. Also, I'll probably, I will most definitely end up spending time in Howling Stones to do videos there, because it's my favorite haunt from my previous enchanter, and I'll definitely be in there for some XP. And I don't know how much has changed because of, resists or AC or pathing. It'll be interesting to see if the pathing there is different. I was so familiar with it 2 years ago that I'll know right away if there's differences in the pathing compared to then, or if it was just my imagination or my inexperience with this camp. Maybe it's always been this bad, and the guy who referred me to it just didn't realize it. But I guess I need some rampage love. But yeah, I'm really getting antsy to be, at least to be 51. Theft of Thought and a new charisma buff. I'm still using my much lower level charisma buff. My charisma's pretty solid, but it's going to jump up to 253 or right around there as soon as I hit 49. And some other new spells will help also. It'll be a much different game as soon as my mana regen is that much higher, so that I can afford to fight more than 2 or 3 things at a time without risking going out of mana and having to gate out or die, or not finish everything off because I can't possibly get enough mana to kill something. That's not so much of a problem once you're dealing with places where there's casters and you have Theft of Thought, because it's just such an awesome spell. Alright, let's see what I can find up here. Again, I don't think there's going to be respawns yet. I guess I will try my luck with calming some stuff out here. I'd like lull because it's super cheap and fast recast, but it doesn't reduce the aggro radius enough to pull off of this top layer where things are pretty close together. Calm will not stop things from aggroing if stuff walks right across either, but it should be better anyways. Urge Shaman. Well, there's one that I don't want dead anyways. That's kind of nice. 3 Urge Shamans right next to each other. I'm gonna move back here and use Bind Sight. It's a tool that I haven't shown yet, which is incredibly awesome. I didn't use Bind Sight until well after I was 60 and had farmed a ton in all of the Kunark dungeons before I started using Bind Sight. It's such a great spell. You just have your target cast Bind Sight. You can sit back down so you're medding, and meanwhile you're looking at this. So from around corners you can target things, watch pathing, cast spells, see when stuff aggroes you from a crit fail. If I'm being smart, I'll have gate up. I won't have enough time probably to cast it after a failed lull because of how quickly these things move. But it's such a great spell. It has an unlimited range, so you can like bind sight on something and then bind sight on something else. And oh shit, I don't know what I want to do here. I hate these pets. You can bind sight and then it moves. You can bind sight on something else. You can like explore a whole zone from the zone entrance just by casting bind sight again and again and again. Well, there's the aggro that I was worried about. I gotta click bind sight off. And of course I don't have my AoE mez ready like I should have, which is gonna make this rough. But oh, I guess I forgot it was just one shaman in the WAN night. That's not too bad. I'm going to charm the shaman because that will... Oh shit. I don't know how that happened. I'm going to just charm him right now to get rid of him and sick him. I don't know what's going on here. I have a respawn here apparently, but he wasn't kill on sight with me. This is really weird. I also don't have my pet Tashand, so risky business over here. The fight I'm doing right now, but we'll make it work. I'll just let whatever dies here die to and then finish off the survivor. Yeah, we'll see. Maybe I'll kill both of them. Depends on what the... Oh, interesting. I forgot he was there. It's very strange that he decided to go charging after my pet instead of me when I'm sitting right there. I wonder if there's some kind of weird interaction with my casting of my alliance spell constantly on things, causing goofiness in relation to whether stuff's cons kill on sight. Because like that, I forgot about that guy. But instead of attacking me, who's sitting down right there next to him, he went after my pet and walked right past me. That's a very strange thing to see. Oh shit, I was hoping that this asshole would... Well, maybe my pet will kill him. Kill his pet. Shit, he's dotted. Or my pet aggroed him. I don't know. Oh, cool. I guess this is actually a decent situation for me to try to get XP for both of them. We'll see if I can pull it off without getting beat to hell. If my pet gets low enough when he charges me, he might start fleeing before he gets all the way to me, so I won't even get hit. That'd be really nice. I'm not sure if the shaman's going to be able to get him down low enough without killing him. God almighty. Yeah, but see, I got my faction working for me, so maybe I'll just pull one of these numbers. Oh, I forget, I still need that. Okay, so what I'm going to do here is wait for my... Oh, I didn't wait quite long enough. I was trying to wait for my pet to take a swing so that I could, well, it'll work. I was going to wait for my pet to take a melee swing so that I could break charm and kill him in between his swings without him getting hit on me, but I didn't time it right. Anyways, I'm going to get some XP, even though, like I, as I've been talking about and as you've seen happening with the fights already. Oh shit, he's not going to leave me alone when he's at 0%. There must be another frog nearby that he's using to assist on. But, very costly fight. Well, although to be fair, this was from a failed lull and a respawn right on top of me, so the fight actually worked out pretty well considering how it began. The guy who suggested this spot to me also told me that there were no pathers in these tunnels, and there clearly are. So that's been another thing that I've been trying to learn, struggling to deal with here as I'm fighting my way through. Once I get all rested up here, I will go down into one of the second or the third level of the keep and try to do a fight in there and then call it good for the video. And hopefully I don't get myself aggroed sitting here. I guess I could just invis up to med. Yeah, still only getting 2% per pop on those mobs. They're not blue by a lot, but I mean they might be like 35, 36, something around there. Little lower level than the blood gills, but you know, I was hoping that the zone experience modifier would mean that anything that's blue is sometimes ticking me for 3%, which would have been sweet, but the danger here is significant for the payout of XP. Although I think that this is going to be a very not busy spot. I'm not going to have to deal with other people here ever. Also, I forgot troll form. Alright, cool. This is wearing off anyways. He's too kind. Bringing it over here to give it to me, and I'm not even going to use it for 3 more levels. I'm quite a charisma whore. I always have been when playing enchanters. My stance was basically that I almost never die because I you know, ideally I can control fights well enough with my spells that you know, and that my hit points, even if they're paltry, are enough to keep me alive between rampage and, you know, ruin spells. So I always tried to focus on charisma, thinking that the more charisma, the fewer times I have an ugly fight because of failed lull. The more charisma, the fewer charm breaks there are. The fewer charm breaks, the less I get beat up, the less mana I spend recharming, the better everything goes. So that's always been my reasoning on charisma. So yeah, slowly mending my way back up. This is a bit more what fighting in a high-end dungeon is like than leveling up in lower level dungeons. It's tight quarters in here, so you know I spend more of my mana trying to protect my hit points every fight, and even though I do that, I still end up taking damage to my hit points more often, and then still having to recast runes. So it slows down the pace of killing in order to just stay alive. I haven't felt like I've been handling things down here terribly well. Partly because it is nasty dealing with shamans sowed indoors in small spaces, and the bad pathing, but also partly just because I'm not familiar with the area and I'm, you know, just not playing great. So it could be better, but you know, once I'm doing videos in hauling stones, like even when I'm XPing in there, it'll be common that I'll let my pet eat experience, or that I'll even charm things and let them die intentionally, just so that they die and get out of my hair without me having to use mana to try and kill them. Because, you know, it's better to be able to do something like that and you break a spawn or you don't die than you get an extra 2% XP once in a while. A guildie. I'm not in a guild. You kidding me? I might end up in one. We'll see. I've heard that enchanters are in fairly high demand in high-end guilds because nobody fucking wants to be a Clarity and Tosh bot, which is understandable. People always say, like, oh, Velius is terrible for enchanters. Everything is immune to mez and magic resistant. Well, what the hell do people think that most of the raids were like in Kunark? I mean, am I going to be like nuking Inaruk, or you know, is a bunch of CC required in order to kill you know, like Veneral Sathir? Potentially, but probably not. You know, basically the only time in Kunark raiding that enchanters got to be enchanters was in Plane of Hate and Plane of Fear. Even Plane of Sky doesn't really count. Even if you were charming or something like smaller guilds would do, you know, there's only one island that you really CC on, and it's a weird kind of CC because stuff is so tough and so resistant that you pretty much just rapture until stuff is debuffed. So in that respect, it doesn't sound like things really changed a lot to me moving into Velius raiding. There's like 1 or 2 raids where enchanters get to charm and or CC stuff, and other than that, all they do is buff. Well, that's what it was before anyways. But enchanters are so great for other reasons that I couldn't resist playing one anyways. Okay, so now I'm going to try and... I don't know if he's coming over here now. I'm going to try and go down into the... Yeah, I guess he's coming over now. Well, he can see me trying to fuck up some frogs in here. Oh, I need to gnome up. I'm going to go into the keep and see what happens trying to deal with a spawn in there. We'll see which level has nastier looking mobs. I might go down to the bottom. Shit, I might just kill the 3 mobs in the back, which are going to be a little higher level overall, but at least, you know, they're not, there's only 3 of them to deal with, and none of them move around. I don't think that the one that has will aggro over to there. Hopefully he's not asking anything too sensitive, because I'm probably too lazy to, you know, like edit this after he says anything. Zol, Zol, Core. Okay, so the Core is a little high, but the Zols are both something I'm comfortable charming, like I said before. Over here we got Zol, Zol, Zol. And the Pather was a Zol also. Maybe I will do something like this. Maybe I will try to lull 2 of these mobs and then kill the other 2. I think that these walls will give me... Oh yeah, and I could definitely fight this stuff down here safe from anything that's going on down there, unless that Pather bugs through the floor in this area that I don't expect or something. I probably can even... Oh, that's close. This might be a safe spot right here. I can't tell for sure. I don't think I probably have line of sight to that spot he was standing just a second ago. So this might even be a safe point in this zone, which is kind of cool. Hold on, I'm going to read these messages and then I'll see about killing stuff. Sorry about that. I think I'm going to settle for back here. That way I can try to lull just one of these dudes, and not as risky. I'll use calm. I think it lasts longer. And then I can charm up. Well, I'll probably lull both of them. Go sit right next to the one. Yeah, I don't know what the fuck I feel like doing. I'm just gonna go at it from right here. So let's see how this goes. That was almost certain death. Asshole. Asshole Zol Knight. Anyways, since I'm still alive, my plan can continue. What I'll do is charm the core shaman so that I can get rid of his pet. He's a little higher level, but I'll still do it. And then I will use him to pull one of the Zolls back a little ways into the hallway, and then fight in the middle of the hallway, where I believe I'll be safe from getting aggroed from anything. Calm lasts a couple minutes, fortunately, so I can piss around like this a little bit and still med back up and before. Lull, I think, lasts a long time too, but like I said, it's cheaper and faster casting, but it has a smaller reduction in aggro radius, and I really don't want to get an ad when I'm dealing with a couple things. Like this guy might be level 42 or something. But he's resistant. Good thing I got a lot of charisma. Be even higher if I actually had my researched charisma spell. Yikes. So there are times when I've tried to lull something on other enchanters, like at 60, and had failed like 10 times in a row. But if you have high enough charisma, well, I gotta fail anyways. And I aggroed the Zol Knight because pathing is shit. I'm gonna probably aggro the third one too, because he's standing pretty close. Shit, I thought I... Fucking hell. I'm trying to get... Hopefully this charm gets off before charm. Or, Mez wears off. Ooh, just in time. I'll try to lull this guy again to keep him calm over there. This guy needs to be rooted again. Alright, so for a fail and shitty pathing that got me almost killed. Shit. Messing up. Now I need to recast at least a rampage on myself. Shit. Forgetting a mez in the middle of a combat, not a good idea. I can't let this rune wear off, really. Oh, I'm too close. Yay. Give me letting my pet kill this guy, and then sending him after the other one too. Good lord. I hit F1 too many times, buffed my pet instead of myself. Not what I wanted to do. So, yeah, again, like I said, considering I had a charm failure. Oh, I thought he had aggroed me for some reason. It looked like he turned my way. These guys don't like to stay stuck in place, eh? Pet staying charmed at least. That's good. think there's an aim spawn down here. A 42 paladin or something. My pet's level 40. Didn't see what level the enemies were exactly. No, don't dispel him. I need him to stay rooted. Dick. Rebel, rebel, rebel. So as soon as he kills this, I'm going to try to break charm and stun him right away before he has a chance to melee me. I know it's tempting to try to get XP for both of them since they're both close, but oh, hey. Didn't that happen last time I was doing this too? Oh shit, he's gonna die to a dot, I bet, before I can get him. Cool. Well, at least I got 20 minutes or so to chill back here and recover from that fight before I try to move out into the main area. Tuck myself back here. Hope I avoid any pathers or anything. And I'm gonna need to redo all my buffs, so I'll redo them and see about pulling that room back there just for the sake of the video. Well, no, I'm not gonna have time. My kids need to go to bed pretty soon. Gotta help my wife with that, and the video's pushing an hour, so. But I showed you what I wanted to show you. You know, you guys saw the cool open area here, the crazy pathing. Saw me be fairly successful in my fights, actually, considering that they were set up poorly from the beginning because of the lull fails. So I'm pretty pleased with that. I doubt that I don't know how long I'm going to stay here. I might try to stay here for a while. I'm going to get myself rezzed at least. It's going to be hard to resist the urge to leave here now that I've made this video in a new location that's I think is really cool, even though it's nasty, that I've never been to before. Going to be hard to resist the urge to leave and go find some easier XP, faster XP, so that I can zip my way up to 50 plus. But we'll see what goes on. I flirted with the idea of going to Tower Frozen Shadow again. That's just not going to happen. And I've never been a big fan of Solisec B. Probably would dislike it even more than this. Shamans everywhere. Mobs that stun, stuff that's magic immune, lava. High levels running around trying to kill giants and stuff. Sounds like a mess. So I'll probably go back to Blood Gills, lame as that may be, to get at least 49, and then consider what I want to do from there. Maybe I'll go to City of Mist after all. I know that it's a busy zone that everybody knows pretty well, but there's a few tricks you can do in there with illusions and lulls and levitate and stuff that can really help you get around the zone that I think a lot of the people who go there probably don't know. Might be worth doing just to show some tricks, show some areas there that people aren't used to seeing. And it'd be pretty easy killing for me compared to trying to deal with this room here or Undead Frogs or Solisec B or whatever. So, but I'll call it good there. I'm sure you're bored of listening to me talk and watching my mana bar tick back up. I'll upload this video and you know, it might be a week or something before I make another one, but I'll troll the forums plenty, so you can get your Tecmos fix on there if you actually need one. Talk to you guys later.